Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is the English news on Somaliland National Television, and I am Mohammed Adan here with the top stories making today's headlines. House of Elders debates on social and security issues in a session held as part of the 56th Assembly. Officials welcome Somaliland's ambassador at large. Kenya seeks suspected massacre mastermind as student survivors reunite with their families. House of Elders held a session chaired by the Deputy Speaker, Saeed Jama Ali, to deliberate security and social affairs as part of their agenda in the 56th Assembly. The Deputy Speaker chairing the session spoke to members of the House and informed about the issue that will be debated in the agenda of the current Assembly regarding the current security situation of Somaliland as well as that of social affairs. Parliamentarians have recently been deliberating several legislations. Now the debate is on the current security situation of Somaliland, which made improvements due to the government's efforts in thwarting external and internal threats to the Somaliland security. As part of the current agenda, social affairs will be focused as an issue of major priority, particularly understanding the achievements as regards to the delivery of social services, including water, sanitation, health and education. Parliamentarians of the Upper House of Elders will continue deliberating these and other issues having major significance for the country's social and economic progress. Government officials, including the Vice Minister of Planning, General Manager of SLN-TV and the Somaliland Ambassador to Saudi Arabia, welcomed the Somaliland Ambassador at Large, Kaysar Abdullahi Mohammed, who arrived this morning at Egal International Airport in Hargeisa. The welcome event, which took place at Egal International Airport in Hargeisa, had in attendance several government officials, cultural leaders and intellectuals. Members of the government speaking at the event reiterated the role the ambassador plays in advocating for Somaliland's independence and sovereignty in the international arena to receive international support for the recognition of Somaliland from the community of nations. General Manager of SLN-TV, Khadar Hassan Ali Gas, speaking at the event, highlighted the necessity of heeding to the efforts exerted by the Somaliland nationals, including the ambassador at large, to ensure that Somaliland's quest for international recognition has been understood by the world. Subsequently, more have been achieved in receiving the attention of the world nations. The ambassador at large, Kaysar Abdullahi Mohammed, speaking at the event, appreciated the warm welcome he received at Egal International Airport and discussed the diplomatic achievements made since he was appointed to serve this diplomatic post. Councillors in Las Anod, the eastern region of Seoul, relieved the former mayor and inaugurated Osman Salebanyare as the new mayor of the district. Following debates by the councillor, the local government of Las Anod held a session to deliberate whether the previous mayor would be relieved. The majority of the councillors voted against the previous mayor, Abdiqadir Jama Salah, that led to the inauguration of a new mayor at the event. You're still watching the English news on Somaliland National Television, the first Somali-speaking channel with an English news, and now for the main international headlines in detail. Kenya has begun 3 days of national mourning after the Garissa University campus rampage by Al-Shabaab militants left 148 people dead, nearly all of them students. A reward equivalent to some 200,000 euros has been offered for the capture of the suspected mastermind of the massacre, Mohammed Mahmoud, a former teacher at Quranic school in Garissa, which lies 200 kilometers from the Somalia border. Survivors have been reunited with their families at a sports stadium in Nairobi. Some are still physically injured, many are deeply traumatized. As much as I'm grateful, I wish my friends were here because I wish they could share this moment with me, with their parents, said 18-year-old Lavenda Matesi. I've lost many of my friends, added fellow survivor Linda Mwende. The events which happened, which took place, and whatever we went through is still in our minds, so we can't forget. I can't go back there. Garissa University is shut indefinitely. Christians were targeted in a siege, and Al-Shabaab, based in neighboring Somalia, has promised more of the same, vowing Kenya's cities will run red with blood. Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta says those behind an attack were deeply embedded in Kenya and called on Muslims at home to help prevent radicalization. He made the comments in a televised speech on Saturday after the Interior Ministry said 5 suspects in the assault had been detained, some while trying to flee to Somalia. 4 suspects were Kenyans of Somali origin and the 5th was Tanzanian, the ministry said. 4 attackers died at Garissa, but Kenya has not named them or announced their nationalities. The authorities put their bullet-ridden, swollen bodies on display on Saturday, hoping that crowds coming to view the corpses might identify them. It's been revealed that a European regulator found issues with Germany's aviation authority over safety enforcement, reportedly before the Germanwings crash in the Alps. A report in the Wall Street Journal said EU officials told Berlin last November to sort out long-standing staff shortages at the aviation authority, the LBA, that could affect checks on planes and crew, including medical checks. Investigators continue to probe the background of the co-pilot Andres Lubitz, who is believed to have deliberately crashed the plane, and questions have been asked as to whether the examinations of his suitability to fly were rigorous enough. Acknowledging that issues had been found, the European Commission said in an emailed statement, on the basis of EASA, European Aviation Safety Agency, recommendations, the Commission has addressed the issues to Germany to require compliance. Germany's replies are currently being assessed. All EU member states have findings, and this is a normal and regular occurrence. It is part of a continuous system of oversight. Findings are followed by corrective action similar to an audit process. The Commission spokesman said, without specifying EASA findings in Germany. A spokesman for the LBA said, ESA audits of national aviation authorities such as the LBA took place several times a year. She said the LBA had answered a single-figure number of criticisms leveled at it during the audits, and those responses were now viewed as assessed by EASA. The German Transport Ministry has reportedly said that the concerns have no connections to the Germanwings crash. Police in France say recovery efforts from the crash site of the Germanwings plane in the Alps have been suspended, at least for the weekend, as the authorities already have most of what they need. A private firm has been hired to remove parts of the plane on site and are expected to begin their work late next week. Last week, the authorities said they recovered the second black box recorder and enough human remains to do DNA analysis. At the foot of the mountain, police vans shouldered a memorial to the victims from view on Saturday to protect the privacy of the families and friends who are expected to visit and grieve over Easter weekend. That's all we have for you today. Thank you for catching us. You can join us at the same time tomorrow. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.